Faith reflects on a difficult pregnancy that saw her give birth to a low-weight baby.
I look at the baby and I'm like, babies don't look like this. Babies look big, look healthy. This one is extremely small.
What followed was a toxic marriage that saw her battered and nearly lost her life.
I didn't know that house had a nyahunyo, but it was picked somewhere within the bedroom. And he started beating me. As he was beating me, he told me, "I'm going to kill you. They will collect your body in the morning."
Early childhood life for Faith had a lot of spiritual influence from her parents, and this saw her grow in the ways of the Lord.
Dad was an evangelist, and we would go to mini crusades, especially where he is the one to preach. Later they became pastors. Then we started going to church with them. And church life as a young child was good for me. I cannot regret to ever being born in a pastor's home. It was fun for me. And serving God at an early age was a blessing to me. I always say so. I'm born as a girl alone, and then I have 3 young brothers. And my dad was very strict. He actually selected for us whom to play with and where to go. So if we are not in church, most of the times we used to be at our home compound, but we had few friends. And at times, even if we didn't have outsiders, we are born for the 4 of us who would literally play. And at times our mom would join us.
Faith later pursued an education up until university, and as she was getting a grip for a newfound job, she met someone.
We happened to live in one flat for almost a year without saying hi to each other, because personally, when I live in a flat, it is always me and the next door neighbor. The rest of the neighbors, I just say hi and I mind my own business, as long as we are living at peace. So even in this particular flat, it was just me and the neighbor. But my ex-husband lived far end of the plot until one day we met at the borehole. At times there would be no water, there would be no tap water, so we would go fetch water at the borehole. So this particular day I went to fetch water from the borehole in the morning and I found him. And he used to tell me I never used to speak. So this particular day he got an opportunity to ask me whether I can allow him to fetch water for me. And I told him, yes, you can. And I left even the jerrycan there. I went back to my house. I came to collect the jerrycan later.
The two would later get close, and as Faith reflects, the day they got married was special.
It was a nice event. Me giving the vows, I meant my vows, and I knew somehow, I'm no longer going to be a girl again, and I've crossed over, and I was ready to stay on the other side forever. The first early years were good, they were blissful, and we managed to do a few things together. Actually, we grew from one point to the other, and very fast. We used to do things as a team. We used to pray as a team. We used to go to church as a team. And he really gave me support of anything I needed.
Faith got pregnant almost immediately, and this would prove to be a tough season in her life.
This one particular day, we went to shop for the baby clothes. And personally, as I remember, I wasn't carrying anything heavy. So we walked around. When we came back to our house, we lived at second floor. After getting inside the house, I realized I'm tired all of a sudden, and the body is not coordinating. So I tell my ex-husband, hey, I'm hungry. I need something to eat. My body is not coordinating, and I think I'm hungry. So I just sat on the chair. He quickly prepared food and actually put it on a tray so that it can cool fast so that I can eat. I tried to eat that food and I could not eat. The body was totally not coordinating. He tried to give me food as a baby and still I was not able to eat. Then I told him all of a sudden, I can't see. He told me, no, you can't see, you don't want to eat, your body is not coordinating. No, now I don't want to enroll you. I can only take you to the hospital.
At the hospital, things were rough for Faith, and there was a risk of losing her life and that of the baby, but eventually the delivery was successful.
When the baby came, for me it was traumatizing. I had seen people's children, but now I had not seen a small baby. So this one comes, I look at the baby and I'm like, babies don't look like this. Babies look big, look healthy. This one is extremely small. And I looked at my ex-husband, I told him, this one does not look like a baby. Actually, he looks like a small rabbit. And now somehow, I didn't want. I held the baby. The baby slept. I tried to shake the baby to wake up. The baby did not open the eyes. To me, I remembered I was told the baby can live, the baby can die anytime. My mind told me the baby has died. So I just screamed and released the baby. My husband held the baby from the air. He asked me, what is it? I'm seated next to you and nothing has happened to you. You are just screaming from nowhere and throwing away the baby. But the baby is not alive. He told me, no, the baby is alive. The nurses came. I told them the baby is not alive. I was crying. They looked at me, they talked to me, they woke up the baby. They told me, you see, the baby is okay. Actually, they even carried the baby.
The couple was later allowed to go back home, and it is from here that things started going downhill.
After 6 months, we built our own home. We moved from town to where we built that home. We started living there now, the three of us, and the house help who would come, who was a day scholar. After staying there for 1 month is when things started being difficult. The first time I remember something happened. We had not quarreled. This place we built, it's not within Thika, it's outside Thika. But now this time, we had closed our shop. I was working again. So we used to leave home, come to work in Thika every day. So now this day we went home. Everything was peaceful. But at night, from nowhere, I was told, you're not going to sleep here. I asked him, where am I supposed to sleep? He told me, this house has so many rooms. It was a 3-bedroom house. This house has so many rooms, you can sleep anywhere, but not in this room. I told him, no, I cannot sleep outside my room. and I cannot sleep on the other rooms, neither can I sleep on the sitting room. So what is it? He told me, if you sleep here, I will kill you. And to me, I assumed that statement.
What followed was a life-threatening situation for Faith as her husband at the time started beating her.
He told me, I'll kill you. Tomorrow morning they'll not find you in my house. He strangled me. And he did it in a way I realized I'll be killed. The baby was still small, the baby was sleeping. I realized I'll be killed, and yes, tomorrow may not find me. I tried to scream. Fortunately, the house help that particular day was in the house, so she heard the commotion. She called out my name. Then my ex-husband released me, told me, that lady has saved you, but you are not sleeping here. Get out of the room. So because of tension, I got out of the room, but now I got out of the room knowing I'm not going to talk to anyone. And I cannot sleep on the other rooms. The only place I can sleep is on the sitting room, the couches. So I went, sat, then I'm like, no, you mean something has happened. So why am I being killed?
Such thoughts would linger on Faith's mind, and a meeting with the in-laws was called to address the underlying issues.
In that particular sitting, the parents really tried to solve out things and to see that marriage works. And the interesting bit was the person I had never denied allegations. He would admit, yes, I did this, yes, I did this because of this and this. Then I was asked to speak of anything which has hurt me, and I have not spoken about it. I told them the only two things I have and which are bothering me is every now and then I'm being told I can be killed. The guy was asked and he said, I only scare her. I will not hang her. I told him, no, you cannot scare her by telling her negative things, or you tell us what she has done for you, for her to deserve to be hanged, or for you to feel you can hang her. Then he was asked, when you hang her, will you have her alive? He kept quiet. I told him, no, we should not hear that. He promised them he will not. Then I told them he has a tendency of, out of blues, beating up the small kids. And when I used to ask him, why are you beating up the child is small, the child is not, he has not done anything. He used to tell me, the child can be beaten. Actually, the child is mine.
After that seating, things appeared resolved and her husband apologized. But once they got back home, a devastating incident happened.
I left us conversing and speaking to each other. The next moment, I was being beaten. Actually, he told me, no, it's tonight, I'm going to kill you. I didn't know that house had a nyahunyo. I had never seen it. It was my house and it was my bedroom. I had never seen it. So at what point it came into my bedroom, I don't know. But it was picked somewhere within the bedroom. And he started beating me up. So the guy beat me up and I realized he doesn't care where he is beating me. And as he was beating me, he told me, I'm going to kill you. They will collect your body in the morning. The baby was asleep, and the funny thing, that baby never woke up. And I always thank God the baby never woke up. This guy beat me up. Actually everywhere. Head, the face. Actually, I normally have a mark up to this day. Somewhere on the face, I have a line. So the face, hands, the back, the legs, and I had a t-shirt and a short. So he had a skin to bit. Then it hit me in the process, I'll be killed, because the fight became so intense. And I decided to protect myself. So I said, no, I cannot be killed. As I see now, I have to do something whereby I can protect myself. But now I didn't have anything in my hands. And this guy was strong, so he would pull me, push me. I decided to use my nails. So actually I pinched him several times, and I realized it's not working. I started screaming.
We are living in a lost and broken world, constantly bombarded by messages of hate and atrocities. But with God, we can overcome. Find hope and restoration on the go through life-changing shows on the Family Media app.
And then you will lose yourself and gain the world. And Jesus said, what good is it?
Get to stream Family TV and Family Radio 316 straight from your phone. Catch up on a show you missed or create video streaming playlists by saving and watching videos from our huge variety of shows at your own convenience. Download the Family Media app, available for all Android and iOS users on the Google Play Store and Apple Store respectively. Family Media, keeping Jesus on the airwaves.
As Faith was screaming, one of the neighbors showed up and after numerous attempts to enter the house was able to get to her.
The neighbor asked me, why are you people fighting? I told him, actually we are not fighting. Do me a favor, give me 100 bob. I want to go. He asked me, where can you go at 10? I told him, no, I want to go home. He asked me, where is your home? I told him, my home is not an issue. I only need 100 bob to reach Thika town. Once I'm at Thika town, I'm safe. Even if I don't go home, I have friends. So once I'm in Thika town, I'm safe. He told me, no, I am a man and I am a family man. The way I cannot let my wife to go at night, the same way I'll not let you go. So I got inside his house, I sat.
The next morning, Faith's parents showed up and it was clear legal action had to be taken.
My father asked me, so I gave them a full child. They want to bring me a child in a casket. We looked at each other. We both cried. And Dad told me, I can only see the hands and the face. I want to see your body. So me, I unbuttoned my blouse. He checks on my back. He told me, no, just button the top again. From here, we are going to the police station. From the police station, we take you to the hospital, we take you home. He called the in-laws and asked them, so you people, you told me it was a small fight. There is no need of me coming here. Yet you people, you want to kill my child. Let's meet in the police place.
As all this was unfolding, Faith was yet to come to terms with what had happened.
Personally, I had not accepted. I was battered. To me, I'm in a dream, in a shock, which looks like a dream, like, did it really happen? And how did it happen? And was it real? This guy wanted to kill me, and why? So when I was living there, I said to myself, this marriage is over. I am not coming back. And I left knowing it's over. I'm not coming back because I cannot condone that. And I never knew I can have a grace to forgive that. So I knew this one is finished.
Faith later got medical attention. A hearing day was set for their case in court, and she went to stay with her parents, but not for long.
I went, took the baby there, and again I vacated. I went to stay with my best couple. And now, the issue was not even staying with my best couple. The issue was the shame of coming back, having been battered. And I didn't want any of the church members to come, to be told I'm around to come say hi to me. Our home being a pastor's home is whereby you find members just pop in. And being in a village, in the village is not like in town where people will take time to come because they are busy. In the village, we have people who are just at home. So they pop in anytime. They have gone to see their pastor's wife, their pastor, they are just there. So I didn't want to stay there for those reasons. Number two, I didn't want to stay there because of my young brothers. I didn't know what to tell them. And I didn't want to explain anything to anyone. So I went to stay with my best couple.
The case in court did not proceed, as Faith was convinced to drop the charges by her father. They would later reunite with her husband, but during one of the family meetings, he communicated his fears.
He told them, Faith had said, if I ever bat her, it will go completely. Now that she came back, I don't trust her. Because the Faith I know, she's not supposed to come back. The one who came back, it's not her. It's a different person for me, and the different person is the one I don't want to stay with because I don't know what runs in her mind. I feel insecure. He was asked, has Faith done anything to you? I said, no, but I am insecure because the original Faith I know, from the discussions we have ever had over the years and before I married her, wife battering was a no-go zone. And she told me, well, if I ever do it, I count myself as someone who has no wife. So this one who came back is not the original girl I know. And that's, as he spoke, you would see the fear in him.
But it didn't take long until her ex-husband had trouble with law enforcement and asked her for help. During this time, Faith was living by herself and things got a little complicated.
It was, I'm not supposed to go back in the spiritual realm. When I come to physical, the guy became very friendly. So I'm like, this person changed. He has said sorry, I can forgive, I can help. I'm still willing to maintain this marriage. But now on the other side, every time I pray, it's a no. I didn't tell anyone anything. And I didn't tell my best couples anything about the no and thinking of going back. I was just somewhere alone. In the process, one day he requested to know where I stay. So I allowed him to come. He visited and he refused to go. And he slept. After that, I realized I'm pregnant again. Now it's a mess on a mess. And I'm like, God, where do I go? What do I tell people?
As she was contemplating what to do, Faith was going through a different challenge at her workplace.
At this point where I'm expectant, now the marriage is like it's breaking up completely. I had a colleague who was a boss, And this boss again was on my case. And for him was like, I would want to save you from the rankles you are going through, but you have to give me a date. For me to review your salaries, for me to do anything and help you, you have to give me a date. And I said no. To a point whereby during the maternity leave, he came at my place still to remand for that date, and I said no. Then he promised me, he told me, I'll give out your work to a different person, of which he did. So when I came back from maternity leave, things are not okay at home. I come back to work, I have no work to do.
Back at home, her ex-husband had moved things from the house, and it was only time until she was alone.
I asked him, so you carried things. What do you mean by carrying things in the house? He told me, I've decided to stay alone. I've decided we part, and I'm carrying anything which we were given in our wedding, anything I've bought, it's my money and it's my things. Anything I've bought to you as a present, it's also mine. I told him it's okay. Then if everything is yours, even the children, they are called by your name. So carry the children, you leave me alone. He looked at me and told me, no, I cannot carry the children. I was just a sperm donor. The children belongs to you. You are the primary parent, I'm a secondary parent. And it really hit me hard. I asked him, so you are not carrying any child. Will you support your children then? He told me, no, they are not my children. They are your children, do whatever you want to do with them. That day he left. I didn't do anything. The following day, caretaker told me, you're supposed to vacate. Those are the instructions I was given.
When she was told, you vacate from this house, she came to church and she said, tumeambiwa tusipatwe hapo na sijui tutaenda wapi. So actually my husband is the one who went to pray for the new house where they moved to. They looked for the house and then they went, they prayed for the house, so they moved in there.
In no time, her ex-husband had already filed for divorce, and Faith found herself grappling to even be present as a mother for her children.
I remember one time telling myself, there is a person who needs children, but they cannot have. But me, I have children, and they are giving me a hard time. And now, the firstborn to me was not an issue. The issue was the secondborn, because it's the one who has come when things are not working. It's the one who is being rejected. He's not our baby. And being said it's not our baby, it says I've been unfaithful. It's not true. So at some point, I took the baby to the men's plantation. And I left the baby there. My plan was to leave the baby. Whoever wants a baby, to pick up the baby. And personally, I love children. So it was not an easy decision to make, but I had reached that point. When I was about to leave, the baby cried. So I said, I cannot leave a crying baby. I took the baby back. Something told me, go back to the house with the baby. So I went back to the house with the baby. I locked myself and cried because I didn't want to come back with the baby. But again, I didn't want to lose the baby.
At her workplace, pressure was now mounting from her boss at the time to give in to his sexual advances.
Actually, this guy promised me of a high pay, promised me of a high position, promised me of plots now that I'm alone, promised me of taking care of my children now that I'm alone and I'm struggling, promised me of building us a home again, but I said no. Actually, I used to tell him I'm born again and I am born again. To a point, he told me, those people who are born again, we are very stupid. We don't see opportunities. I told him, we see opportunities, but not when we sin to get the opportunities. So at some point, I was sacked from job because of the same. I'm not giving in. So by the time divorce is issued, I'm jobless. I have 2 children to take care of, and I have a divorce case to answer.
Faith now had to dig deep, and it is at this point that her relationship with God became strong.
Isaiah 54 became my chapter. Of that young man, the young lady who has been married young, he has been rejected. Now he has the children. I started praying with those verses. And God started speaking to my heart. So the divorce comes in. The court case was another heavy one. I didn't know what to do exactly. But now the court case all through, I can only say I went through it through prayers and now the backup of friends.
We got involved much when she started getting sick.
I got sick in a way I could not explain what I'm suffering from, because it was that time I'm sick, but I'm big and I'm very smooth. So me telling someone I'm sick, it's like a plain lie.
The divorce was settled, but here, Faith was sick. Her friends Bibiana and Lucy played a crucial role in being there for her until she recovered.
She just walked herself to the hospital. And then she was told, like, your HB is below 5. So you cannot even go home. You have to be admitted. And I was like, okay, admission. So she called us. She told us that. And I was like, are you comfortable with it? Admission, then what? Transfusion. I was like, I think that is a dangerous area we are going to. As much as I am not a medic, but I am not very comfortable with it. She also told me she is not comfortable with it. So we talked to the doctor, and the doctor told her we can do something else. There is another drug, sijui iron something, which is in liquid form. So she was told she will be infused that drug. It was to be 2,500 per bottle. So she needed 3. And by the grace of God, we were able to secure with her and friends, and we got it. So I went to stay with her in the hospital. Not admission, but that short duration when she is being kakana.
It was too much for her. Even her body was swollen. She lost many friends, but we were there for her, praying for her, and we encouraged her until God healed her.
Faith had pursued a career in music before, and it was one of her songs that encouraged her through that season.
One day, I woke up in the morning and one of my songs was singing in my mind, and a voice asked me, that stanza, was it for the other people, or does it still apply in your life, or is it for the people who are listening to your music? And I'm like, I meant those stanzas, and that is what came in me. Even now it's applicable. I started singing it every now and then. I started getting healed.
After managing a full recovery, God started transforming Faith's life as she now lives as a true testament of the Lord's doing.
God being God, He allowed things to happen. That position I was being promised if I gave in, and I refused. He aligned things until I reached to that position. And now it came as his promotion, not a man's promotion.
One thing which I have loved with this girl is that she has a total faith in God. a total faith in God. In fact, many times I have always consulted her when I have like, mimi nimeombea ile jambo na nasikia ni kama I am hitting a snag, ni kama mimi nimechoka. And I have handled this issue na ninasikia ni kama nimechoka, ni kama ninaanza kushinda. I'm like, no mom, let us do this. Even when we don't know how to pray, let us pray for the will of God.
Faith has been a person who, as then her name who is Faith, she has been a person of a prayer, a woman of prayer, a woman who has been encouraging me so much because I've seen her going from one temptation to another, from one glory to another.
Faith has also become more intentional with her children, even though it has not been easy navigating all this with them.
When we left, the boy went into depression. And the only question he was asking me was, Mom, why did we move to a small house? Why did he carry our TV? Why did he carry the fridge? Why did he carry this and this? And I would look at the boy with no answers. Then there was that one thing I promised myself. I'll never tell my children anything bad about their father. And I had said to myself, I'll never tell them anything which happened, except they grow and ask me questions. So I do the best I can do as a mother. And now that the father is not there, the things I know they should be told by a father, I try to tell them.
Faith's story is one of true resilience, considering all she has been through, and to this day, she shares profound wisdom for those that are living together in holy matrimony.
The married couples should be always encouraged to work as a team, because where we worked as a team, things were working well. But the moment a third party is allowed in to be like the one in control, you lose that marriage. And a third party can be anyone, can be a parent, can be a sister, can be a friend, can be even your own child in the same marriage. But as long as a third party is the one giving instructions, we lose that marriage. As long as the couples are doing things as a team, God comes in as the third note of that marriage. And you cannot break that bond. But the moment they stop working as a team, the enemy gets a loophole.